This is Darren Sabedra again with the Bay Area News Group, Mercury News, East Bay Times, here with Mike Lefkow. Mike, we're now into the week two of the high school football season, but week one was very memorable, at least from my perspective. I'm sure yours as well. What are going to be your quick takeaways from De La Salle's win over Folsom and Clayton Valley Charter's double overtime thriller against Pittsburg?
Well, I think De La Salle's defense was everything we thought it was. We were out at the scrimmage. They played against Jesuit of Carmichael, and we both commented how good that defense looked. And they showed it against a Folsom team that was supposed to have a great offense. I was at the Pitt-Clayton Valley game, a little bit of a surprising outcome. For Pittsburg, they've got to get their act together. They play St. Mary's of Stockton on Friday, and I think a lot of people will be looking to see how they bounce back. Clayton Valley, I mean, what can you say? They deserve a lot of credit.
Tip your cap to Clayton Valley.
Yeah,
that was a huge win.
They were down 10-0 3 minutes into the game, and they took over after that. They lost one of their running backs during the game, and they had a young man named Carson Sumter who stepped up, played very well. Their quarterback, Logan Sumter, looked good. Cade Carter played very well. This is a good football team, and they're going to be they could run the table.
We were out at De La Salle this afternoon, talked to Justin Allenbaugh. They've got a different test this week. Last week they had to worry about the passing game of Folsom. This week a running attack coming into Concord as Central Catholic will take on De La Salle on Friday night, a game that you will be covering, Mike, and you can read all about Mike's coverage from that game at mercurynews.com and eastbaytimes.com late Friday night. What are you looking for out of that game?
Any game that De La Salle or any team that De La Salle plays this year cannot be one-dimensional, and I don't know if Central Catholic is. I mean, they ran for 272 yards last week in a victory over Clovis West. They only threw for 72 yards, and maybe they didn't need to throw. But I think to beat De La Salle, you have got to be able to both run and pass, because that defense is big, strong, fast, terrific. And they will shut you down if you're one-dimensional.
The secondary is great, but as Justin Allenbaugh said today, the defensive line was a difference maker against Folsom. They put so much pressure on the Folsom quarterback, and if they can continue to do that throughout the season, teams are going to have a lot of problems. Another game we're looking forward to, well, I don't know if we're looking forward to it, but we got to address Clayton Valley's situation. Now, I mean, I looked at their season log. I'm seeing 10-0. I mean, what are you seeing?
Yeah, no, I mean, they've got a couple games coming up, one against Antioch, one against a team from Nevada that could be tricky, but I mean, if they play the way they did Friday night, they don't have to play as well as they did Friday night. Right. They're going to be extremely tough to beat.
Of course, now that we're saying that, Coach Murphy's probably listening, going, "Oh my God, you guys are killing my kids here."
No, there's nobody you'd rather put pressure on. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Pitt. How do they bounce back this week? They got another tough one. St. Mary's of Stockton, great program. They're coming into to Pittsburg on Friday night. That's going to be a huge test for Pittsburg to see if they can bounce back from that heartbreaking loss.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is a huge game for Pitt, because if Pitt were to go 0-2, I mean, there goes the open division. There goes a lot of things. So this is a huge game.
I don't know if it was necessarily – I don't know. And they could still beat Liberty and stuff. They still have opportunities, even at 0-2, if they were to go 8-2. But that schedule – I mean, we talked about that going into the season. I mean, if they were to lose this week, they still have Centennial Corona on the road, I believe, next week or very soon. They still have Sarah of San Mateo and then Vacaville before going into league play, and we all know that their league is very difficult.
And Centennial looked great on Friday night. It looks like they haven't missed a beat. So I mean, yeah, they've got to prove themselves on Friday night.
Right. One of the bigger events going on in the Bay Area this weekend will be the Honor Bowl, which is an event that raises money and awareness for military veterans that will be taking place at St. Francis High. It's 2 games on Friday night and 3 on Saturday. The headliner on Friday is St. Francis of Mountain View, minus its 2,200-yard rusher from last season, Darrell Page, who's no longer with the team. School has declined comment, but Page is not on the team, and how will that affect St. Francis going forward without a runner who ran for 2,200 yards last year?
I don't think you ever know how losing a big running back is going to impact a team. I mean, I'm not trying to say that position's not important. It is, but I think Clayton Valley showed last week when their running back went down, they put in Carson Sumter, and he did just fine. So I think a running back is, it may have a huge impact, but it may not.
And we all know about St. Francis's defense with Joshua Picola and those guys. I mean, that's a really good defense, and they can hold teams down. They can hold anyone down. So I got to think St. Francis is still going to be solid. We have them ranked in our top 10. They will be at home against Notre Dame Sherman Oaks, which we just looked up Notre Dame, and they're coming off. This will be their season opener, and they're coming off a 6-5 season. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. The headliner on Saturday at the Honor Bowl, Sarah of San Mateo going up against Sarah Gardenia. Patrick Walsh's team, Sarah, the team from San Mateo, coming off a state championship, just as St. Francis is as well. So it'll be interesting to see what Sarah has this season with Luke Batari back at quarterback, and it should be a good Sarah team.
Yeah, it should be, and of course Sarah Gardena is always loaded with athletes, always loaded with a lot of college prospects, but it was also 6-5 last year, so
the game. Go ahead.
No, I think Sarah San Mateo has a good shot at winning that game.
Right. The game that I am penciled in to go to will be at San Jose City College. I'm kind of curious to see what Bellarmine has this season, coming off their first losing year, I believe, since 2006. They'll be on their quote unquote home field against Menlo-Atherton, a team they beat last year, but comes in with obviously high expectations, ranked again in our top 10 with a couple of guys who are very high level recruits. Yeah,
I like Menlo-Atherton. I think they're a good team. They're well coached. I'm going to pick Menlo-Atherton to win this game. I think they're going to be a very, very good football team this year.
Yeah, I think it's a game Menlo-Atherton has to win. Obviously, if it wants to stay among the Bay Area elites, and then on Bellarmine's end, maybe they have something from their lower levels coming up that will elevate the program back to its usual standards of competing for WCAL championships and regional championships. So it'll be interesting to see what the Bells have, and they will be, as I said, at their quote-unquote home field at San Jose City College against MA on Friday night. Any other games before we wrap this up that you are looking forward to this weekend?
Well, we're going to cover Antioch in California.
That's
California right. Should be an interesting game. Two teams that have lots of potential. That's a tough game to call.
And Monte Vista coming off that 9-3 win at Granite Bay. They will be at San Leandro, which is coming off a big win over Foothill. That game will be streamed. We won't be covering that game, but that will be streamed by NorCal Sports TV, Chris Babcock's operation. Shout out to Chris for streaming local high school sports, and they will be at Burrell Field on Friday night for that game. It'll be interesting. I mean, if Monte Vista wins that game, then Monte Vista will be a player, I guess, in the EBAL this year. Back to
no question. If they win that means they'll have gone on the road 2 weeks in a row, knocked off Granite Bay and San Leandro. That means you got to take those Mustangs seriously.
Exactly. Be sure to sign up for our newsletter that came out today, Monday, and it will come out again on Thursday. The Thursday version previews the weekend, and the Monday version recaps the weekend. It's free. All you need to do is drop your email address into the widget, and the newsletter will automatically drop into your inbox when you go into your email. So just sign up. It's free. Of course, there are a lot of links that you might run into some paywalls here and there, including ours at mercurynews.com and eastbaytimes.com, but the newsletter itself is free. We like free. You like free.
I like free. We both like
our free. Bosses like. Yeah,
they like pay.
Anything else before we wrap this up?
No, I think we're going to have a good second week, and now we get everybody involved.
Now we get everybody playing, yes. So check out our coverage Friday night at eastbaytimes.com, mercurynews.com, all weekend. Lots of good stuff, game coverage all over the place. And we will be back, I think, on Saturday with another video.
But don't forget, the weekend kicks off Thursday night with Bishop O'Dowd at Kennedy of Fremont.
TAC Videna Stadium at Washington High in Fremont.
Okay, all right.
Yes, but it is Kennedy against Bishop O'Dowd. Bishop O'Dowd's season opener with its team led by Stanford-bound Austin Jones at running back.
And a number of good college prospects.
All right, and you like college prospects.
I do like college prospects.
All right, very
Fun to
good.
watch.
Very good. All right, that's a wrap from Walnut Creek.